So inclusion is one of our core values and it is across all 3 associations, which is really, really important. It's part of the fabric of what we do. I think sometimes we can get caught up in the terms of whether it's equality or equity, inclusion and diversity, but really what we're talking about is belonging. And that's something that Gaelic Games and the GAA do really, really well. Our demographics are changing. We see that in our society, and it's really important that our GAA clubs reflect our society and that we can see it within our clubs. You remember from when you are in the cradle to the grave. It's a lifelong journey that we generally have within Gaelic Games.
It's almost presumed that if you were in Ireland, you've been exposed to the GAA, and if you're not playing it, it's because you chose you didn't want to play. But there's a whole adult population that have moved into the country that just see it in our televisions, and it's talked in every street.
Time-wise, I knew everybody in Clarecastle. Now there's probably 3,000 people here that I don't know. That's a blessing, but it's also a big challenge for the club. There is a massive housing estate just behind us here that wasn't there when the field was built. The ones that are from a GAA background are immediately going to be drawn to us, but they're the minority. We feel our role is to make sure that everybody in that estate feels like they can come and join us, that there are no barriers.
Like lots of schools in urban areas in Ireland, we would have a very, very diverse population that might have various different backgrounds that we'll say in the past might not have been your traditional GAA families. So we see it as really important to make sure that those families know that the GAA club is much about their historical experience as it is about someone whose parents may have played GAA. So we would have a number of, we'll say, children who are resident in the International Protection Centre here in Ennis, so predominantly Palestinian. We would have a number of kids from the travelling community. We'd have a number of kids from that their English mightn't be the language at home. Sometimes it might be the kids join the school, they're a little bit older and mightn't have a GAA heritage. We'd see a success in the school here is if your parents haven't played GAA and those kids are, that's our job done well.
The GAA, it can be a tight-knit community, but with that, sometimes maybe as someone from the LGBT community, those groups can sometimes feel a little bit actually hard to enter. We sometimes do put those barriers up or just kind of prevent ourselves from going because we've had bad experiences in the past with other groups. But I feel like the GAA has improved so much over the years.
I suppose the big challenge really, you're trying to welcome people from different countries, and I suppose that they're not familiar with Gaelic Games. They're more familiar with soccer. Probably, and in some cases soccer they might find is an easier game to play as well. So seeing a stick and people hitting a ball, playing hurling, and then even the football, the physical contact of it sometimes can look a bit strange. So there might be that little bit of coming into the unknown.
When you saw the first time, the guys hitting the ball with that stick, if that thing hits somebody, it's gonna hurt. But then when he started doing it, it's no fear at all.
I still fear that, but it's great to see them playing there. It's great.
One of the biggest barriers for entry into the GAA, if you're from a new community, is cost. You're looking at this mad wild sport hurling if you're from a non-Irish background, and you're there going, I'm not sure if this is for my kid. So if it's €70 for a helmet, that's a real barrier if you think your child mightn't keep going.
Our club grounds is about a mile away from the centre of the town, so for a lot of families that might be a barrier that just can't breach.
The big problem that you need the car to go somewhere and get here. So for example, where I lived, so I live with 40 Ukrainian people and only me have a car. When we begin, some people give a lift, help us to get here, but they cannot do all the time because they have own schedule and own business always.
The main marginalised groups, strange enough, are the older people, which are often forgotten. These are past players or supporters, and we target supports for them because very often when they're finished their playing or have been officers, they drift away. People, for example, who are living in Killarney in assisted living, and socially they don't have much to do.
People who may have been suffering from certain maybe forms of depression and loneliness, felt that they were isolated and maybe felt that they weren't that wanted in the community.
There would be a number of obstacles, I suppose, on access for travellers within handball courts.
How do we solve the issues of, for instance, if there's a club, a handball club that's full, and there's members of the travelling community that want to join, but there's no spaces. Most of the handball alleys today, they're all closed in, so they're all part of GAA, so you have to be a member to have access to it. And the younger generation is losing out on a sport that our great grandparents have played, just because of accessibility issues.